Story 1. Am I the jerk for not putting my boyfriend's name on my house? I really thought this was normal, but so many people are telling me I'm a witch for not doing so that it's starting to mess with my head, to be honest. I recently received a house. My grandmother passed away and left her 2 houses to my sister and me. We sat down and, between the 2 of us, decided that she should have the bigger house as she's married and has 2 kids and another on the way, while I would move into the smaller 2-bedroom house. My sister's husband has been added to the title of her house as he helped her pay the tax on it. I was able to pay the tax on mine myself as it was cheaper due to it being smaller. Because my boyfriend of 3 years didn't contribute financially towards it, I didn't think to put his name on the title. We had a housewarming party last weekend, and his parents came up to me towards the end of the night and were going on and on about how lucky boyfriend and I were to be able to live somewhere like this rent-free. And it gives us such a head start in life, and they were very appreciative that I'd given the house to my boyfriend, half of it at least. I corrected them that I hadn't, and he wasn't on the title, but was welcome to live with me and not pay rent so that he had more money to put towards his studies. We're both master's students. They immediately became very judgmental, saying that I was being unfair not putting his name on the title, and that clearly I didn't expect the relationship to last, and I didn't trust him, etc. I say they were being unfair, and he wasn't entitled to half of my family's house, and then I walked away. Now, numerous members of his family have messaged me and him saying I'm a witch and I don't trust him and I tell him to watch out because clearly I don't love him, etc. Am I the booty hole here? No, definitely not the booty hole. It's a legal precedent to not put someone's name on the house if you're not married, especially, like she's saying, if she's the one that paid off the tax that goes with receiving a house to begin with. Just such a weird phrase to read out. I received a house. If you're lucky enough to do that and you can pay the taxes all on your own, then yeah, keep it in your name. I wouldn't bring the boyfriend or girlfriend or significant other or anyone who you're not legally bound to into a legal contract, like the deed of a house. It's best practice to keep that separate. Yeah, she's not probably hoping that the relationship doesn't last, but you can never be too sure, and there's legal precedent for this for a reason, because if the opposite were to have happened, then she would be in a whole other mess. If things happened that she put his name on the house, they didn't get married, they broke up, and then they'd have to deal with the whole drama that goes with, dividing up the house when really it's not even in the boyfriend's family to begin with. So she's playing this correctly, and everyone who's making a big thing out of it is just being selfish and greedy. Story 2. I just blocked my own wife on Facebook. I've always been a $40,000 a year guy. No education. We've been married for 20 years. In 2017, I landed a mediocre job that paid $70,000 to oil industry stuff that I'll never understand. I told her it would be short-lived. In 2019, we will buy a house. In 2020, I will lose my job. I collect unemployment for a month, then go to work in a warehouse for $15 an hour. She gets a job there at the same wage. Sweet. Both of us combine to make what I used to make. We'll be fine. She says it's fine because she'll do anything to keep the house. After a week, she decides she can't handle working 40 hours a week, so she makes this post on Facebook talking down on me for not doing enough for my family after she quits the job. I wanted to reply, but didn't want to be that guy on Facebook, so I blocked her. I'm ranting right now because I'm drunk and thinking of just walking away. I feel like she's totally in the wrong for being too lazy to work a 40-hour week. She thinks she does enough at home. Normally, I would agree, but she doesn't do crap. The house is trashed when I get home. She's usually stoned and drunk and doesn't even know where our 9-year-old daughter is. She's at the neighbor's kid's house, is her usual response. I just want to leave this witch, but I don't know how. Yeah, I can tell that this guy's drunk. The first half of that story didn't even make sense to me. It's like he was talking in past tense, and then he was talking in future tense, and he was predicting his own future of how his life was going to pan out. And then he was telling a story of what actually already happened, so I didn't really put two and two together until he said that he was ranting and was drunk. Then I was like, this makes sense. I shouldn't trust anything that he says because he's just spouting gibberish. But by the end of it, I got the impression that he and his wife are not going to work out because they're just playing the blame game. And it's never good to do that. You should be equally responsible for everything, and it's nice to split duties as much as you can. But they're just trying to put it on each other and claim that they deserve more than the other person, or I deserve more rest and all that. That's never going to end well. So I don't predict that these guys will be together for very much longer. And then at that point, they don't have to be Facebook friends anyway. Story 3. Civilian dependent wife demands salute because of her husband's rank. Here's the short of it. Civilian dependent wife demanded to be saluted because her husband was an officer, used her clout to get enlisted to salute vehicle stickers. Enlisted followed orders and saluted vehicle stickers, prioritized them over officers and even empty vehicles in parking lots. There are a handful of rules to saluting in the American military. The when, why, and how is drilled into you from boot camp until the day you leave. Even the order in which the salutes are rendered have meaning. When it comes to vehicles, there are helpful insignia and stickers to indicate if it's an officer, such as a colored sticker located on the front windshield. My base was small enough where it was everyone's job at some point to do sentry duty at the front gate, which had housing for military families. Sentry duty was pretty basic. You'd stop every vehicle, check IDs, and then wave them through. If they were an officer, you'd see it coming with those colored stickers, and after verifying the identity of the officer, you'd salute and send them on their way. One day, while on duty, I approached a vehicle with an officer sticker, and there was only the officer's wife driving in the vehicle. I returned her ID, wished her a nice day, and waved her through. Pausing with a stern look, "Where's my salute, petty officer, Citizen Alpha?" Now, Karen here was wife to a higher-ranking officer and has clearly fallen under the impression people are saluting her somewhere along the way. Some of the junior enlisted might have even been saluting her, as they're pretty easy to bully and more prone mess-ups. I politely replied, "Ma'am, salutes are only rendered to commissioned officers." Angrily pointing her chubby little fingers at the front of her windshield towards her husband's officer sticker, "I have a sticker, and you need to salute the sticker." Curtly, I continued, "I'm afraid that sticker is not an officer either." Frustrated, she pulled through and left my post. My cover guy, the guy keeping me safe with a big gun, and I watched her drive down the street and pull right into the administrative building with the top brass, and huffed into the building as quickly as her soft, poopy body would take her. We exchanged a look between us with wry smiles, knowing exactly where this is probably going. Later that day, we got a new official base-wide mandate. From here forward, all enlisted will salute vehicle stickers of officers, regardless of who's in the vehicle. Roger that. This is where malicious compliance comes in. It's worth noting that when you salute an officer as enlisted, you do it first, and you hold that salute until you are saluted in return, and they lower theirs. Only then do you lower your salute. It signals that you're saluting them, and they're replying. Additionally, when saluting a group of officers, you generally direct your salute and greeting to the highest-ranking individual. Now, as far as I know, this stupid sticker salute order has no accommodation for how a 2004 Toyota Camry fits into the officer's pecking order. Additionally, if the car is unoccupied, it's not like that sticker is removed. After that order came through, we all began saluting stickers. Personally, I'd direct my salute to the sticker. I would also prioritize sticker salutes over officers. Let me tell you, walking through parking lots was a blast as I saluted empty cars on my way to wherever. More and more people saw me doing it, and more people started doing it. Not long after, the order was publicly rescinded, which hilariously had the balancing effect of never rendering a salute to anyone but a clearly known officer, cementing Karen never getting her unearned salutes. I just love that he's done this. This is the kind of malicious compliance I like to see, where it just highlights the absolute stupidity of a given rule, and then even better when they come to realize, the people who have enacted the rule, how stupid of a rule it is, and they agree and they rescind it. So we've come full circle there, and all around, this one played out quite nicely. But in the beginning, so with the Karen in the story, it's definitely, I'm glad that he stuck to his guns and refused to salute her in the first place, because if he did, I understand that saluting holds a lot of weight to it and it's showing respect. If he just did that to anyone who claimed they deserved it when really they didn't do all the work that goes into it to be honored for it in the first place, if he gave her a salute, then he would be undermining the value of the salute in the first place. Much like how it was in the end of the story when he was just saluting unoccupied vehicles. Then it became very clear that the salute was no longer worth anything, so why bother? And then they had to rescind it to actually give it some value again. So, well played. Story 4. Sister wants my wedding because it doesn't count, as I'm gay. This is so unreal to me that a person has this much audacity, but apparently my sister does. I, a female, 28, met my soon-to-be wife, 35, Noah, when she moved to my country for work. She was freshly divorced, but has a little girl who is 5 called Lena. Lena is the sweetest, and it's been wonderful getting to know her. Noah divorced her husband after realizing she was gay, and he ran for the hills, stating he didn't want anything to do with her or Lena in case she passes it on, whatever the frick that means. I proposed to Noah 10 months ago, as I know she'd be too nervous to do it herself. It wasn't extravagant. I just asked her over dinner with Lena's blessing. We've agreed we want it simple and intimate for the wedding. Her first wedding was big, and she hated it. So just family and close friends. My parents have offered to give us some money to help towards it, even though we've reassured them it isn't going to be a big affair. But they wanted Lena to get a pretty flower girl dress and wanted to pay for my dress and whatever Noah will wear, probably a suit. Enter my entitled younger sister, Kate, 25, who acts like she and her boyfriend are engaged, but he's too scared to actually ask her. She's the golden child, spoiled, and gets whatever she wishes. She's made some remarks about Noah already having a child and being a divorcee, but I told her to lose the ignorance. Just because she decided to stay in our small hometown and not expand her personality doesn't mean she can say stuff like that. Over dinner last night, she started whining about how I didn't need any money, and she didn't know why we were bothering with a wedding when Noah has done it all before, but has suddenly decided she's gay and wants to have another go at marriage with a woman. This is something Noah is insecure about, so I get protective of her. Kate went on to say that she should resume her first wedding dress and started cackling. Her boyfriend looked embarrassed, and my parents told her to be quieter, but no one said anything else. My parents have come to me and said it made sense to them if they give more money to my sister's wedding fund, as it will be her first and only wedding, not even engaged yet, totally ignoring the fact that I've never been married either. I told them to keep all of their money, as it wasn't welcome if they were going to shame my wife and stepdaughter. We are perfectly able to fund it on our own. Edit. I didn't say it, as they've never been homophobic towards anyone, or when I came out as bi, but I do wonder if a little part of them feel a straight wedding deserves more funding than a gay one. Since people are asking, Katie asked for the majority of what they'd offered me to be taken back and put away for her, so that's what they've said they will be doing. I never asked for the money in the first place. Also, Katie said, why did we even need a reception if there wasn't going to be a bride and groom? Why have a normal wedding? So yeah, she doesn't think a gay wedding should be as important. Yeah, the parents are clearly playing favorites here, with a tinge of homophobia, or maybe even more than that. And the sister, Kate, is just a total jerkwad. She's being selfish and entitled. Any wedding, regardless of the gender of the people involved, is as valuable as the next one. It doesn't matter who's involved. It's a celebration of love, and one shouldn't be prioritized over the other, or in terms of funding and anything that goes into it. So I'm glad that OP put her foot down and just said, hey, we don't want your money. It's tainted anyway if you're going to play favorites like that and try to dictate, what's more deserving. So good for her for doing that. And to honor the bride-to-be's wishes that, maybe she wants a smaller wedding and less involved, that doesn't reflect the fact that this is still the first wedding that OP is ever having, and she deserves to have some say in how extravagant it is. And it's nice that she's respecting her soon-to-be wife's wishes, but also she's had to turn away the funding just to make the statement when, she's just as deserving as her sister because it's both of their first weddings. Not to mention the fact that the sister isn't even engaged yet. And seeing how she's been behaving, entitled and whatnot, I can kind of see why the boyfriend hasn't popped the question yet. Please leave your stories in the comments. I'd love to make a video of them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.